Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible to everybody. Welcome to today's webinar presented by Unique Shiksha. So, today is a very special day for multiple reasons. Number one, we get to interact with all of you via this amazing medium given to us by YouTube and all the technologies made available to us in today's time. Today also happens to be Mother's Day, so very happy Mother's Day to all our lovely mothers. It also happens to be my mother's birthday, so I also have another reason to celebrate. So, in today's session, we are going to be talking about a lot of things to help you prepare. But before I start talking about the session, I would love to be able to introduce our fellow panelists today. So, just below me on the screen is Gautam Pandey sir. So, Gautam sir has over 10
Hello.
years of experience in teaching and helping civil services aspirants prepare. So, welcome, Gautam sir. Thank you for taking out the time. Sir is a
Good
regular
afternoon,
faculty
everyone.
with Unique Shiksha for the past many years, and he is covering the fields of polity and governance along with certain portions of ethics and internal security. Sir also teaches the public administration optional. He is an integral faculty member at Unique Shiksha. So, just to my right is Kapil sir. I don't know whether it's right or left. I'm getting a little confused now. So just
Hello,
next to
everyone.
me is Kapil sir. So Kapil sir is also very senior faculty. He's been helping aspirants prepare for over 6 years now. Sir is a very integral part of the Unique Shiksha family. Sir is helping our aspirants prepare in the fields of geography, environment, and disaster management. Sir also is an exceptional faculty for the geography optional that he conducts at Unique Shiksha itself. At the bottom of the screen, we have Shobit Unyal sir. Sir has again over 6 years of teaching experience, again an extremely valued faculty member at Unique Shiksha. Sir is taking up the fields of science and technology and helping all of you excel in this examination. As science and technology is, as seen recently, is very critical and current affairs portions include a lot of science and technology. So welcome, sir. And
Thank you.
we also have our senior most faculty member, Vishal sir, with us over here. Dr. Vishal Mishra sir is a senior professor in Delhi University. Sir is a very valued member of the Unique Shiksha team and has been with us since the very beginning. Sir takes up the integral and very vast portions of history. So, welcome all of you. Thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us today. I hope you're all well and everybody in your family is also well. So, my dear friends, today's session is, of course, about civil service preparation and various aspects of civil service preparation. Each of us have our own expertise and own areas which we will be covering in today's session. Today's session, I'm going to start with mental preparation. Mental preparation consists of various dimensions. But the first and most important aspect of your preparation is your self belief. That you need to believe in yourself. We are going to be taking up the belief exercise later in the session also. Some of you who may have attended my previous session, if you remember, we did a belief exercise. I want you to believe that you can do it. Because only when we believe that we can do something is when we can start charting out the path, our path to success. Belief is the goal, path is the road that we have to take to get to that destination of success. And in order to be successful, we must remember that we also have to face failures. When we face failures in our quest, in our path to success, we need a lot of perseverance. We need to be strong. So, belief, the right belief, the strong belief, the correct and right path for you, and the perseverance required in order to succeed. My dear friends, these are the three things every selected candidate, every successful candidate definitely possesses. Moving forward, I am sure in our life, as it must be true for me and all the other faculty members over here, there have been times that we have believed that we really wanted something. We wanted something, all of us, from our childhood to the age that we are in today. There have been times that we wanted something, from a small little toffee to a career goal. There have been times that we wanted something. And there have been various times, and more often than not, when we want something, we don't get it. We have to be prepared for that too. But when we don't get it, Who do we blame? When we were kids, we blamed our parents. As we grew older, we didn't get marks, we blamed our teachers. The teachers were biased. I remember having these kind of excuses all the time. Then, as we grew further, I blamed the environment around me. I'm sure we all did. We always find excuses. But when we talk about excuses, the most important excuses that come forward, the most commonly used excuses that come forward are God, कि भगवान नहीं चाहते थे, भगवान ने नहीं लिखा था मेरे लिए, मेरी किस्मत में नहीं था, मेरे फेट में नहीं था. I was not lucky enough to get it. God, luck, fate. God, luck, fate. इन तीनों के कारणों की वजह से अक्सर हमें जो चाहिए होता है वो हमें नहीं मिल पाता. I want you all to think about, all of you attending the session today, all you young, enterprising, exciting, vibrant minds, to remember those few times when you really wanted something and didn't get it. Write it down in the comments box. I'm reading the comments here. Write it down in the comments box and tell us about one thing that you really wanted which you didn't get. Don't worry, we don't know each other. Nobody in the audience knows you. For yourself, write down something that you wanted जो हासिल नहीं हो पाया. I will wait for your comments. Write down something that you really wanted that you did not achieve. Exactly. We have some comments coming in. Come on, be confident. Take charge of things that you really wanted, that you did not get. क्या कारण रहे? भगवान ने साथ नहीं दिया, किस्मत में नहीं लिखा था, we were not lucky enough. Or my dear friends, something fell short in our effort. Think about it. If I tell you today that I'll give you the perfect secret recipe to success, it is God, luck, fate, effort. ये चारों चीजें मिल जाए सब कुछ हासिल हो जाएगा. I'm sure all the faculty members will also agree. Anybody in the world will agree कि भगवान का साथ हो, किस्मत का साथ हो और लक भी साथ में हो तो सब कुछ हासिल होगा. But my dear friends, can we control God? We can't. Can we rewrite our destiny? We can't. Can we make ourselves luckier? We cannot. Can we make our competition less lucky? We cannot. So what can we do? We can only make the right effort. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, certainly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I feel the few things that we need in life, in order to make the right efforts, we need to be able to enjoy it. I am so proud that all our faculty members at Unique Shiksha make an important effort to make sure our students are enjoying their journey. Enjoyment. Having logic. I am sure as we move forward, we are going to talk about logic today. The importance of logic and application of logic in order to understand what to study, how to study, and when to study. We will also be talking about importance of small groups of studies, small study groups, concentration groups, how to improve yourself, the importance of correct language, the importance of answer writing, how to make notes. We'll also be talking and touching base upon performance review, progress tracking, and how do we do it, and of course, how all of this comes together in giving us the right direction. So in today's session, we are going to be first covering with Vishal sir the parts of history and what is the approach of history, the approach to history. Then with Gautam sir, the approach to polity and IR. With Shobit sir, the approach to science technology. And of course, each of the faculty members will be talking about the current affairs portions in their subject domains. Then Kapil sir will be telling us about geography and environment. Once each of the faculty members have covered their respective portions and given you tips and tricks and the strategy for your path to success, I will then come on again to talk to you about various types of preparation, various different stages in your preparation, how and when you should start preparing. If you are in college, how you should prepare. If you have graduated and you want to give the next attempt within 1 year, 1.5 years, what should be your strategy? And similarly, if you are a working professional, what your strategy should be and how you can tackle it. We will also be talking about advantages of studying with Unique Shiksha, and we will also be helping you understand how you can study without Unique Shiksha as well in the comforts of your home. I'll also try and talk a little bit about selected candidates and what worked for them and how you can use what worked for them. So again, I welcome all of you to Unique Shiksha's second webinar in this series, and I hope you are safe and everybody else in your family is also safe. So with this, Vishal sir, I welcome you to take on this center stage and address the audience about the approach to history and various aspects of history preparation.
Thank you, Amrit sir. I welcome to all of you on behalf of Unique Shiksha. Hope you all would be fine, in good health and spirit along with all your family members in this COVID-19 epidemic. Friends, at the same time, आज जब पूरा विश्व आज इस कोविड-19 एपिडेमिक के दौर से गुजर रहा है, हमारे सबके लिए एक चुनौती है how to cope up with it. At the same time, as you all are going to join the Indian bureaucracy and you all are going to become the knowledge base engine source of this 21st century, आप लोगों के लिए एक अपॉर्चुनिटी, अवसर भी. अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि मैं कौन से अवसर की बात कर रहा हूँ, इतना बड़ा आपदा, इतनी बड़ी समस्या और मैं अवसर की बात कर रहा हूँ. Yes, अवसर in the sense that right now you are sitting at home. Even in this scenario, you can plan your preparation, you can start your preparation, and you can take a lead in comparison to others who are still planning to start or who will plan after the situation will become normal. No doubt, we will very soon we will overcome this. हम बहुत जल्दी से बाहर निकल आएंगे, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं. लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम ये हमारी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि हम अपने इस टाइम का कितना बढ़िया से सदुपयोग करें, ताकि घर में रहते हुए, सेफ रहते हुए, सुरक्षित रहते हुए हम अपने कैरियर को एक दिशा दे सकें. जैसा कि अमित सर ने बताया कि 4 चीजें होती हैं, गॉड, फेथ, लक और एफर्ट. अगर ना हो, 3 चीजें हम अपने कंट्रोल में नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन एफर्ट को कर सकते. मैं उनसे सहमत हूं. यहां पे मैं 5वीं चीज जोड़ना चाहूंगा अमित सर के 4 कोटेशन में. जैसे महावीर स्वामी ने 4 चीजें गुरु से ली थी, तो 5वीं उन्होंने जोड़ी थी, वो था ब्रह्मचर्य, सेलिबेसी जैनिज्म में. ऐसी मैं 5वीं चीज जोड़ना चाहूंगा, इच्छा शक्ति, विल पावर. और वो इच्छा शक्ति दैट यस हमें करना है. और जेंटलमैन बिलीव मी, अगर आपने ठान लिया कि मुझे करना है, संकल्प ले लिया दैट आई हैव टू डू, तो बिलीव मी, जहां पर संकल्प होता है वहां पर कोई विकल्प नहीं. देयर इज नो एनी अल्टरनेट. wherever is there the firm determination. Now come on, let us start about history. आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों ने हिस्ट्री के बारे में बहुत सारे मिथ सुने होंगे, रूमर सुने होंगे, याद नहीं रहता, भूल जाते हैं, बहुत फैक्ट है, बहुत फिगर है, बहुत सारी लड़ाइयां, बहुत सारे राजा, कितना याद करें. You all are right, आप सभी सही हो, but at the same time you exactly don't know, आपको मालूम नहीं है कि how to prepare, इसको तैयार कैसे किया जाए. और हिस्ट्री का बहुत बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है जेंटलमैन. ये हमें अपने पास्ट के बारे में बताता है, ताकि उस आधार पर हम अपने फ्यूचर को डिसाइड कर सकें और अपने प्रेजेंट को बेहतर कर सकें. जो गलतियां हमने पास्ट में की हैं उनको हम रिमूव कर सकें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आज 10 मई है. आज 10 मई के दिन, जैसा कि अमित सर ने बताया, आज मदर्स डे भी है, आंटी का बर्थडे भी है. सबसे पहले उनको ढेर सारी हमारी तरफ से विशेष, वो खूब लंबी दीर्घायु हो, हेल्दी हो, लॉन्ग लाइफ हो, और हम अपने बच्चों पर अपना आशीर्वाद बनाए रखें. एट द सेम टाइम आज हिस्ट्री में आज 10 मई का इंपॉर्टेंस है, डू नो, एंड दैट इंपॉर्टेंस इज लाइंग इन द इवेंट ऑफ मेरठ सेपॉय म्यूटिनी. आज ही के दिन हुआ. तो लेट अस रिमेंबर आवर पास्ट, लेट अस रिमेंबर आवर एंशिएंट हेरिटेज. यस, आज के दिन हमारा विद्रोह की शुरुआत हुई थी, जिसकी फाइनल एपिसोड, जिसका फाइनल पराकाष्ठा अ ग्रेट रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857 के रूप में पढ़नी. आप में से जितने भी लोग इस समय इस सेशन को अटेंड कर रहे हैं, अगर मैं आपसे भी कहूं कि आप मुझे इस 10 साल, 12 साल, 20 साल, 22 साल, 25 साल, 26 साल की हिस्ट्री को बताएं, डेट वाइज, तारीख वाइज, इवेंट वाइज, तो क्या आप बता सकते हैं? आई एम 100% श्योर नहीं बता सकते. इवन अगर आप हमसे पूछोगे कि विशाल सर, अगर आपने इस 40 साल की उम्र के बारे में तारीख वाइज, डेट वाइज, इवेंट वाइज बताना, तो मैं भी नहीं बताऊं. लेकिन अगर आप हमसे पूछेंगे कि सर वो इंपॉर्टेंट एपिसोड बताना जिसने आपकी लाइफ को एक दशा दी हो, एक दिशा दी, मतलब वो इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट आप बताना जिसने आपकी लाइफ को एक डायरेक्शन दी, तो यस, आई कैन टेल यू कि मैंने 10th कब पास किया, 12th कब पास आउट हुआ, ग्रेजुएट कब हुआ, कभी कॉलेज लाइफ में नकल करते हुए पकड़ा गया कि नहीं पकड़ा गया, कभी टीचर ने पनिशमेंट कोई बहुत बड़ी दी या नहीं दी, रेस्टिकेट हुआ या नहीं हुआ, यूपीएससी का पहला अटेम्प्ट कब दिया था, प्रीलिम्स हुआ था कि नहीं हुआ था. मतलब ये घटनाएं मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ. मैरिज एनिवर्सरी बता सकता हूँ, अपने बेटे का जन्मदिन बता सकता हूँ, अपने 2-4 रिलेटिव्स का बर्थडे बता सकता हूँ. मतलब वो इवेंट आई कैन टेल यू दैट डिसाइडेड माय फ्यूचर कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन. एट द सेम टाइम अगर आपसे भी मैं ये बात पूछूं तो यू कैन टेल मी, मैं आपसे कहूं कि आप अपने इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट बताओ, तो आप भी बता लोगे कि सर दिस इज माय डेट ऑफ बर्थ, आज के दिन हम धरती पर बोझ के रूप में आए. इस साल हमने 10 पास किया, इस साल हमने.
Vishal sir, sorry to interrupt. Sir, a lot of students seem to be from the southern part of our country and are requesting more English. So, sorry for the interruption.
Okay, done. So, if I will ask you that me some certain event that decided your future course of action, then you can tell me, sir, this is my birth, this is 10th standard passing year, this is 10 plus 2, this is graduation. I appeared in this year and I got selected in this year. This was my first appointment. This is my super retirement date. You can tell me. Similarly, in the same manner, only those events, those king, those battles are required to be remembered here in history, which is important from the aspect of India, particularly in context that it changed the course of history. Number one. Number two thing, nothing on this earth, no any event is there, no event personality is there which has no history, even in no any subject. Take for example, today you are attending the session on Unique Shiksha platform. UNISA has its history. A very long year back, 47 years back, it started its publication, and today night, right now, it is guiding you in the field of civil services examination. I am teaching you history, even it has its own history. Everyone, everything on this earth has its own history. Take for example physics, Aryabhatta. He gave the concept of zero. He gave the concept of that earth rotates around the sun. He gave the concept of trigonometry, mathematics, sine theta, tan theta, cos theta. Bhaskara, he wrote the book on algebra, Leelavati. Varamahi, astrology. Nagarjun, रस चिकित्सा. चरक संहिता, a book on medicine. Sushrut संहिता, a book on surgery. Everything has its own history. Gentlemen, this is the reason history is called father of all subjects. What? Father of all subjects. Gautam sir is teaching poet, IR, polity. In polity, first act comes in the form of Regulating Act 1773 in modern India. What is the background behind this act? Actually, East India Company was a shareholding company. It was formed in 1598. Charter was given in 1600. Shareholder company, you know, shareholder gets dividend. More than 150 year was over after the Battle of Plassey 1757, when Clive went back to Britain with a huge bag and baggage. Shareholder started to demand their dividend. East India Company said, no, I am in crisis, I cannot give it. Shareholder went to the Queen, who herself was a shareholder. Queen replied, I cannot do anything. East India Company also went to the Queen. Queen, that please help me, I am in economic crisis. Queen replied that, sorry gentlemen, I cannot help you, go to the Parliament. Parliament can help you. And the result was, Parliament said, okay, we'll help you, but not by this way. First of all, we'll regulate your all the affair. And the result is Regulating Act 1673, some drawbacks, then 1784, again some drawbacks, 1786, again some drawbacks, 1793, then Charter Act 1813, then Charter Act 1833, then Charter Act 1853, a great revolt, 1857. Result was passing of Government of India Act 1858. And from here, we read in the history, establishment of British Raj. And in polity, we read historical intertwinings in the framing of Indian Constitution and Government of India Act 1935, from where most of the part is taken in our Constitution. Means this has its own history. Everything has its own history. This is the reason history is called, gentlemen, father of all subject. And we are preparing for it. We are preparing for civil services exam. Conducted by whom? UPSC, which is called mother of all examination. Father is history. Mother is civil services examination conducted by UPSC. Now here comes some sociological factors. Let us discuss. Our society is still patriarchal, isn't it? Yes. Even most of you, if demand that, Papa, I want to go to Delhi for preparation of civil services, green signal is there, yes, go. I don't think hardly anyone will stop. But if father says, where are you going? No. Everything could be stopped. Papa, I want to marry with this guy. Nahi ho sakta, cannot do. But if father saying yes, no one can stop. Means, if history is in your pocket, father is in your favor, gentlemen, trust me, whatever would be the difficulty of question paper of civil services examination conducted by UPSC, you would be always in the win-win situation. How? In prelims, 100 questions are there, and believe me, if you are making 55 questions dot correct, no one can stop you for writing the mains. But if you see questions from history portion that not only covers history, that covers history, art and culture, it is roughly varying from 20 to 25 questions. How many have you made? How many are required to make correct? Out of 55, 155. And out of 55, if history is in your pocket, 20 to 25, you are going to make it correct. Whatever is the difficulty of question paper, prelims is clear. Now mains, paper 1. Again, history has a good weightage out of 250 marks. It will help you in understanding IR, international relation. Today, see, everyone is reading Indo-Pakistan. Today, see the news. Nepal has objected that we had an agreement. This road formation is not good. Indo-Nepal treaty has its own history. Indo-Pakistan. Indo-Sri Lanka. See, a day before, just 2-3 days earlier, our Prime Minister attended the NAM summit, Non-Aligned Movement. What is this Non-Aligned Movement? The history goes back to the end of Cold War, when the whole world was divided into blocks. One was led by US capitalist bloc, one was led by USSR communist bloc. So then you can understand what is NAM, what was its principle. Today, essay is there, relevance of NAM in 21st century. So history helps you in all aspects. Now come to the third point, how will you guide you? How I will guide you, particularly Unique Shiksha. We will give you each and everything in the class itself. The study material prepared by Unique Shiksha is very enriched. We not only focus on fact, we also focus on answer writing aspect as well. First, I will deliver the lecture, make your concept clear. At the same time, you will get the answer, the study material. After that, one topic is over, your test would be conducted. That test would be consisting of objective questions as well as mains questions. You will make it, then answer discussion will take place, and then you would be assured that this question is 100% ready. This is the way that we guide you, in particular the classes itself. And one thing, we work on personal touch. What is personal touch? If you don't understand, we go to the root cause. What is the problem? Why don't you understand? So that your interest could be inculcated, and then you will not fear about history. This is the aspect that we guide you. Next thing is very, very important. The last thing that I would like to tell you here, that in ancient history, medieval history, modern history, art and culture, and in the world history, everything is provided fact-wise, mains question answer format-wise in the class itself. In prelims, all the fact from prelims point of view. In mains, first we discuss the topic, then we give you all the questions that can be framed in the mains exam, and then we go to the answer format one by one, so that your preparation is completely in final tune with the UPSC. This is the way of teaching the history in the class, and that would be done by me.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vishal sir, for sharing your valuable inputs on history preparation. So, as Vishal sir very correctly said, I completely agree that history is completely correlated with every subject. अगर UPSC का syllabus समझना हो, if you have to understand the syllabus of UPSC, I'll explain it in 1 minute short. Historically, all civilizations were based around rivers. History and geography हो गए correlate. The geography and environment of that area defined कि क्या उगेगा, what agricultural produce will be done. The agricultural produce of the area was the economy. So history, geography, environment, and economy have gotten correlated. Thereafter, we had to do what? We had to improve the crop produce. What we are producing, we have to improve. What do we need for that? Science and technology. History, geography, environment, economy, science, technology हो गए एक. Historically, all civilizations around rivers. The geography of that area and environment defined the agriculture. The agriculture gave the economy, and to improve the economy in agriculture, we needed science. And what happened? We lived in a civilization. We needed to govern the people. In order to govern the people, we needed what? Laws, constitution. Therefore, polity and constitution came in place. Similarly, internal security, disaster management, all other facets of the syllabus are correlated to history. So with that, I am going to request Gautam sir to start talking about polity and international relations. Do we have Gautam sir here? I believe his screen is blank. Gautam sir, are you here? Okay, till the time we have a technical issue with Gautam sir, Shobit sir, may I request you to start your portion on science and technology, try and help
Yes, sir.
the students understand in the simplest way possible what should be the exact strategy for science and technology, and its benefits to current affairs as well. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everybody. Hope you and your families are all safe and healthy. My name is Shobhit Unyal, and I teach science and technology portion of the UPSC Civil Services exam. Friends, today I would like to throw some light on the preparation of science and technology portion of the GS. Friends, science and technology, it forms one of the core areas of the UPSC's Civil Services exam. If we take the average of the past 5 to 8 years, we see that the science and technology portion, it accounts for around 15 to 18 questions out of 100 questions that are asked in the preliminary test. So it holds a good portion if we talk about the number of questions that are asked. Also, if we include the environment and ecology portion to the number of questions, then this percentage would go even higher, more than 20 or 25%. And why do I try to include it in environment and ecology? Because these subjects, they import heavily from science and technology. So if we have good knowledge about science and technology, then it would be easier for us to understand other areas as well, which are connected with science and technologies, such as environment.
I believe we are having some issues with Shobhit sir's connection as well. So I think
Ecology and
Shobhit sir,
geography and other such appreciating other subjects as well.
Shobhit sir, I'll request you to just pause over there. I believe you're having some connection issues with you. So Kapil sir, I believe you and I have a good connection right now.
Hello?
Yeah, certainly, sir.
Yes. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll start with geography and environment. Meanwhile, till the time we have Shobhit sir back and Gautam sir back.
Yeah, certainly.
Right.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kapil Bhardwaj and will let you know what is the importance of geography for civil services examination and how we are going to deal with it. But first of all, I would like to stress more on the point of Vishal Mishra sir. As Vishal sir mentioned, that determination is also important for everyone to do anything, not only civil services examination, but to do anything. Many more students, when initially came to me, they used to ask, sir, will I be able to clear the examination? They used to ask, sir, I am having that capability to clear the examination. Dear all, I will say you all had done the most difficult task in your life. And if you can do that task, then you can do everything. And now the question is, what is that task which everyone has done with it? And it was the most difficult task. It was how to express your point of view. That is, to learn any of the language. When you take a birth, when you're born, you was not aware about anything at all. You are not aware about a single word of Hindi language, English language, or the local language in which you share your ideas. And even then, you tried your best and you start speaking that particular language. And see the beauty of your struggle, no one was there to help you out for it. If you want to know that what is this particular thing, and that is there is a chair in front of you, and you want to know what we will call this, you will wait for 3 or 4 days when someone will come and will say, give me this chair. Then you came to know, yeah, this is chair. And by that aspect, you had segregated your knowledge and you start speaking in 1 year. So I would like to mention here, if you can start speaking everything in 1 year, then civil services examination is not a difficulty. You can do it absolutely in 1 year. The second thing is, civil services examination is quite easy in comparison to the task. Why so? Because now you are having a lot of knowledge. You are having a knowledge of each and every subject a little bit. And apart from it, the most important thing is, we are always here to help you. You can ask for the help and we will always be there. So how can it be possible that you will not clear civil services examination? You had done the most difficult task in your life, and now you can do everything. Now, I would like to talk why there is geography in civil services examination. Why UPSC is so much worried? Why they are asking question about geography in civil services examination? Many more times this thing came in our mind that I want to become IS. I will run a district. What is the relevance of geography in that? So, dear all, UPSC is a very dynamic body, and they are having very precise method of selecting the leaders out of the youngsters. As you are going to rule over a district, you must be aware that what should I do whenever there is any kind of disaster? What should I do if there is crop failure? What should I do if there is rain failure? What should I do if the river is changing its course? What should you do when you are an IS and earthquake is over there in your district? What I want to say, whatever the life we are in and whatever the task we are going to do in future, everything is related with geography. Everything means what we used to eat is also related with geography. If we are in North India, we will be consuming wheat, or I will say rice. If we are in coastal area, people will be having meal dependent on fishes. People will be consuming mustard oil in North India, and people in South India will be consuming coconut oil. So see the beauty of geography. By that aspect, you will be aware about everything. What will be the habit of the people? What is the desire of the people? And nowadays, nothing is North India, nothing is South India. The complete thing is India. And what is making it India? It is the science and technological advancement, transportation facilities. We are moving here and there from one place to the another place in the search of better opportunities. And that's why you must be aware about the need of each and everyone, not only about the North Indian, not only about the South Indian, about each and every Indian. Then you will become a better leader. And if you will become a better leader, then automatically you will impart better policies in your district. And if you will change your district, then certainly you can change the state or the nation or the continent or the world, which is desirable. Now, another thing, if you will see what is the requirement for becoming prime minister or for becoming president, have you ever noticed anyone, the youngster in the age of 21, become prime minister? No, even we are not having eligibility for that person at the age of 21 become prime minister. But the person can become district magistrate. The person can become IAS. Then what is the reason that the person can become an IAS at the age of 21 but can't be a prime minister or the president? The reason being because the person is at the grassroots, and we have the requirement to change everything at the grassroots. Now, how the youngsters will be helpful in changing the things? I will give you an experiment today. Just go to your grandfather or grandmother and ask them to enjoy a party today in the evening. They will completely deny you that we are not going to do any kind of party today. We will enjoy at home. You can do party at your own way. They will never say, yes, we will be in the party and we will enjoy it. They will never say so. Why so? Because whenever age is increasing, adaptation becomes less. And as you youngsters are more adaptable, and adaptability is required, environment is changing, desires are changing, technology is changing, then why the leader shouldn't be adaptable? The leader must be adaptable. And that's why youngsters are required to change the country. Now, what is the importance of geography in it? Dear all, if I will talk about prelims and as well as mains, then geography is highly important for your examination. And not alone geography. If you are aware about geography, then you can attempt betterly the questions of environment as well. Nowadays, environment is the major concern. If we want to survive betterly in life, then it is necessary we must keep our environment healthy. Epidemic is there today, but today nature is gaining. And it is a good aspect of everything. So I will say those students who are facing failure in one or the another aspect. So you always keep this in mind. If the epidemic is having a positive side, then your failure is also having a positive side. एक कहावत बोलते हैं कि ठोकर खाने से अकल आती है, बादाम खाने से नहीं. Why so? Because whenever we are having a failure, we are facing a failure, then automatically we are learning many more things out of it. And that's why we will always succeed. So the successful men will always try their best. Now, in prelims, geography is having a more coverage. Why so? Because the civil services examination and the examination for forest services, prelims is common for both. And as you are aware, when the person wants to become an officer in forest services, then he must have the knowledge of geography and environment betterly. That's why UPSC try their best to cover many more questions out of geography and environment combinedly. Nearly 25 questions are getting covered in prelims, and similarly, nearly 80 to 100 marks questions are getting covered in mains, along with the environment and disaster management. And that's why it is very important for you guys to focus over geography. That's why it is important for you guys to focus more to prepare healthy. And the better thing is, geography is not having much more dynamic aspects. It is more like a technological aspect. It is more conceptual in nature. When you will come to the classroom, and I will let you know that by that aspect, rainfall used to take place, then I am very much confident that just by seeing the cloud in the sky, without seeing any weather report, you will let everyone know that today rainfall is going to happen. And that is the requirement of a civil servant. Many more students used to ask, sir, people are preparing for 3 years, 2 years, how we will succeed? Dear all, UPSC just want an administrative person. They don't want anyone who is the master of geography or who is the master of history or economics. They just want a generalized person who is expert in everything. That's why the name of your paper is also General Study Paper 1, General Study Paper 2. They doesn't want anyone to be a geographer. And that's why we will cover all the basic things starting from NCERT to the advanced level, which is required for your examination. And if we will cover that, then automatically you will succeed in your aim. And we are always there for your help. And if you are getting a better help, then automatically you will be having that unique way, via unique Shiksha, to fulfill your unique aim. That's why I will invite you all to fulfill your aim by making a team together. Okay, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Kapil sir. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with all the viewers today. So with this, I believe we have Gautam sir back now. Gautam sir, you can hear me loud and clear?
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Wonderful. Nice to have you back. We look forward to hearing you about polity and IR and the approach and what students should do in order to tackle these two areas.
Okay, sir. See, first, I would like to thank Amrit sir for giving me this opportunity. And second of all, I would like to congratulate all the students who are there in the webinar. Now, the reason for this is, when I say congratulating you, it means that you are the one who has actually taken a particular decision, a decision to be here, which is one of the greatest abilities that you require when it comes to civil services examination. You need to take decisions. Decisions are what basically matters. Now, coming to the topic that we need to discuss here, that is, my topic which I am going to take up is polity, which means the Constitution of India. So we are going to deal with the Constitution of India. Secondly, there is something called as governance. Now, some of you may know it, not all of you, but governance is something which has to deal with how a country is governed. So, Constitution is one of the documents that we require to govern our country. And governance is not just, the Constitution is not the sole document. There are number of laws, there are number of institutions. There are some institutions like the judiciary, the executive, legislature.
I believe that we again have some connection issues with Gautam sir, and we will restart with him once he is back. Sorry for that to everybody, but don't worry. Today we will definitely resolve all your queries. So meanwhile, Shobit sir, yes, I think Gautam sir is back. Gautam sir, you're back?
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Yes. So please continue. We had lost you in the middle.
So the Constitution is one of the fundamental ideas which is used to govern the country. Along with the Constitution, there are laws, there are various institutions, and this very topic, that is what comes under General Studies Paper 2, that is polity governance. This is basically how a country is governed. Now, Paper 2 also has a very important aspect which covers something called as international relation, and that is also something that I deal with. However, let's first discuss the strategy that we are going to take up when we prepare the topic Constitution, polity and governance. Now see, basically what we can do is we can divide the whole idea into two. The paper 2 that is there, we can divide it into two. First is something called as the traditional aspect of it, and the second is something called as the contemporary aspect of it. Now, when I say traditional aspect, what do I mean? If you go through the syllabus of the paper, you will find that whatever is mentioned as a part of the Constitution or the laws that are mentioned there, they are basically the traditional ideas. It deals with just the basic understanding of or the fundamental understanding of certain topics, certain core areas, certain foundations, which we are going to build, on which we are going to put up a foundation of your success. So that traditional area, we are going to divide it into two. The first is dealing with NCERTs. Now you will say that, sir, we have already studied NCERTs. Most of you have already studied NCERTs. So why is there a need to go through it? There is a need to go through NCERTs because the way you have studied it right now and the way you study
Yes, I think we again have some issues with Gautam sir's connection. So, Shobit sir, hopefully we will not have any interruptions now, and let's continue with science and technology till then. Gautam sir, shall we come back to you? Till then, we'll start with science and technology because we are having some connection issues with you at the moment. So, Shobit sir, I request you to kindly take the floor and help the students understand the various nitty-gritties of science and technology and the approach, and I request you to also help them understand the approach to current affairs as well, and exactly how they can do it even without our help, and what is our help.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hello, everybody. Hope you and your families are all safe and healthy. Friends, my name is Shobit Unyal, and I teach science and technology portion of the UPSC Civil Services exam. Friends, today I would like to throw some light on how to prepare the science and technology portion of the UPSC Civil Services exam. Friends, science and technology, it is counted among one of the core areas of the UPSC syllabus, UPSC Civil Services exam syllabus, because it accounts for more than 15 to 17% of the questions that are asked last 5-7 years. And if we include the questions from environment and ecology also, this number would go even higher, around more than 20% or around 25%. Why am I counting environment and ecology along with science and technology? Because there are some certain other subjects also, like environment and ecology, geography, which import heavily from the science and technology portion of knowledge about science and technology. So friends, a basic understanding of science and technology is very important to clear if you want to clear the UPSC exam with good numbers. So when we talk about the science and technology, my request to you would be to see this area as an opportunity rather than as a threat. As many of the students I encounter with, they consider this area as a threat rather than as an opportunity. Why do I call it as an opportunity? Opportunity because of the total number of questions that are asked, which is around, when the level of questions asked from science and technology is not very high. Very moderate level questions are being asked, and the questions are very straightforward. So if we have a basic understanding of this subject and the right kind of orientation, then we can very well attempt these questions during our exams. Hence, my request to you would be to treat this area as an opportunity. But there are certain problems associated with this project. And what are those problems? Those problems, if I can classify them under three heads. Problem number one that I call is what to study. What to study? Because the syllabus for science and technology is not very structured. Why do I say that? Because UPSC only mentions general science. If we look at the syllabus for the preliminary test, no further bifurcation or no further breakup of the subject is given in this syllabus. So the students, they get very confused and clueless about what to study in this portion. Number one, problem number one. Problem number two comes as from where to study. Friends, another problem with this subject, with science and technology, is that students are again clueless about the study material of the science and technology. And why is that so? Because unlike some other subjects, like we don't have any reference, some standard reference book which we can read from cover to cover and we can say that the subject is done. So here again, there is a sense of cluelessness among the students as to what they have to study in science and technology. So what to study is a problem, from where to study is a problem. And problem number three is a lot of non-science students, they totally ignore this subject. They consider this subject as not their cup of tea, and they try to compensate this subject with some other, by doing, they think that they can do better in other subjects and they would compensate for science and technology. This is a wrong approach. Anyone, please take my words, anyone who is guided well and who is oriented well can perform very well in this segment. Be it science students or non-science students, it does not matter. Okay, friends, this is not a paper of IIT or NEET that you have to be from science background to fare better in this subject. Anyone who has basic appreciation of the subject can do very well in this area. Okay, so here comes the role of proper guidance and proper orientation because of the uncertainty involved in the syllabus and in the material. So friends, I, along with my research team, have put in a lot of effort to analyze the previous year papers and create a comprehensive study material which is updated every year. And not every year, even it is continuously updated, and we keep on providing those updated material during the class sessions and after the class sessions also. So this becomes very important aspect of science and technology. This is not a difficult area, as I told you before also, but the only problem is the uncertainty involved. Okay, the students, they do not have a clue about what to study, from where to study, and here comes our role. We put in a lot of effort. I, along with my research team, we continuously are putting efforts to make this subject very interesting, and so that, and you don't have to look out for any other material outside of what we provide you. So here is what we are going to help you. Now another question is how you can prepare during this lockdown, and especially I'm talking about the science and technology portion. Friends, this portion, it includes, if in very simplistic terms, I'm not going to the specifics right now, we can talk about that sometime later, or in your questions I can deal with that, but I'm talking in a general manner about how to deal with this subject. Friends, there are two aspects of this subject, if we can, I can say. First aspect is the conceptual part, and the second aspect is the contextual part. The conceptual part involves our conceptual understanding. It is the static knowledge that we are talking about. So in this, for conceptual knowledge, we need to know, unless we are through with our conceptual knowledge, it will be difficult for us to appreciate the current affairs. Okay, so first we have to be clear about the conceptual part. For that, we can brush up the NCRTs from 6th to 10th and some portions of class 11th and 12th biology portion also. Okay, so these are the things that we need to cover for conceptual clarity. As far as general science is concerned, friend, general science is asked only in the PT phase. In mains, general science is not asked, but even in PT we cannot ignore the general science aspect, because a lot of questions are asked from, especially from the biology area. So we have to be clear about the concept. Then concepts are there in technology areas as well. Supposingly, if I talk about space technology, so there would be a portion of contextual, that is the current affairs, and there would be a portion of conceptual part also. For example, in conceptual part, we should know what are the types of orbits: geostationary, geosynchronous, sun synchronous. We should be knowing about the types of launch vehicles we have: PSLV, GSLV, GSLV Mark III. So, and how a rocket is launched, what are the kind of fuels used. So this would form the conceptual part. Similarly, the conceptual part for nuclear technology would involve what is fission, what is fusion, how we harness the energy from these processes, how does a nuclear reactor work, what are the various components of nuclear reactor, components like moderator, coolant, controlling rod, etc. So these are the conceptual part. We can say unless you know these areas, you won't be able to appreciate the current affairs or the conceptual, contextual part. And second in line, after we are done with the conceptual part, then comes the role of contextual. UPSC always asks questions which are contextual. You won't see a lot of questions which are out of context. Contextual means those topics would have been in context for the past 1.5 years or 2 years. So it forms the current affairs portion. So once we are clear with the concept, then we come to the context, and for context, newspapers come in handy. So we should start doing the NCRTs first. We should start clearing our doubts regarding the various sub portions of the syllabus, like space technology, nuclear technology, biotech. When we talk about biotechnology, we should be clear about what is DNA, what is the cell, what is RNA, what are various terms associated with that. Then only we'll be able to appreciate the current affairs. Okay. Then contextual part mein, we need to cover all the recent happenings that are happening in the field of science and technology. And friends, please mark my words. In science and technology, there are no boundaries. Okay. Any achievement anywhere in the world is an achievement for the mankind. So UPSC won't restrict the questions in science and technology to the events happening only in India. It will also include whatever achievements in science and technology that are happening across the world in all the fields. Means in space technology, what NASA is doing; in biotechnology, CRISPR-Cas9, what China is doing. So 5G technology is coming in communication technology. So South Korea and US already have implemented that. We are also into the process. So don't restrict yourself while you are studying about science and technology.
Right.
But what portions to study? Then this becomes another question. Friends, UPSC wants a general appreciation of the subject. It is not an exam for IIT or NEET in which you need to know the very specifics or technicalities. UPSC only expects us to know that if we are able to appreciate what is happening in a particular field. Right now, I'm talking about science and technology portion. So we should be able to appreciate big events in the field. Supposingly, if in biotechnology, CRISPR-Cas9, I'm saying this word again and again because it is a very big thing in the field of biotechnology. So it may be a non-event for a layman like us, but it is a very big thing for biotechnologists. Similarly, last year a question was there on denisovans. Who are denisovans? Okay, so they are a human subspecies like Neanderthals. So they are also human. This may be a non-event for a layman, but it is a very big event for some anthropologists. So we need to appreciate that this event holds a very special significance, and we should know something about it.
Right. Thank
Okay.
you, Shobhit sir, for your views, and the entire discussion was, I'm sure, very helpful for the students. So we
Okay.
have Gautam sir back. Sir, I hope the connection is stable now. I, along with all the viewers, are very keen to hear your views on the approach to the very important area of polity and IR. So, sir, the mic is yours now. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Sorry for the lost connection. This does not happen in offline classes. Anyways, let's continue. Basically, see, we'll just continue with where we left off. We were discussing basic strategies to prepare for the polity, governance, and the international relation part of our syllabus, which falls under General Studies Paper 2. Now, when we say polity, as I have already explained, the major component of this area is the Constitution of India. So we go through Constitution of India. The governance aspects include a lot of other institutes and laws, which, because we live we live in an era of liberalization, privatization, and globalization. In an era of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, there are a number of other institutions which contribute to the governance of India. It is not something that only the government as we know is basically responsible for. And hence we actually go through these institutions also. There are institutions such as, some institutions you must have heard about, like NGOs, pressure groups, what is civil society, what is media, what are their contributions to governance. Now, if we talk about the polity and governance part of it, see, unlike other topics, like if you talk about history, if you talk about, Shobhit sir did talk about science and technology. These topics require a very different approach. However, when we talk about polity and governance, there are three key important points that I would like to point out, which is the fundamentals to prepare for this particular subject. First is conceptual clarity. Second is writing skills. And third is knowledge of the ongoing state of affairs, which Shobhit sir described as contextual science and technology. For polity, we call it as the ongoing legal aspect, like coming up with new laws. There are new laws that are being enacted by the parliament. There are some institutions that come up, etc., etc. So when we talk about conceptual clarity, we keep it as a part of something called as a traditional, aspect of polity. Until unless you are clear with this, that is conceptual clarity, you have an understanding of, like if we talk about, democracy, the idea of democracy. So the idea of democracy, how do we understand it? We consider as laymen, we generally consider all those countries where elections take place is what, these are democratic countries. However, this is not exactly true. If that was true, Pakistan could have been called as a democracy. Pakistan will be considered as a democracy then, because there are elections that are basically held there. But this is not the case. And this is what I'm specifically talking about when I say conceptual clarity. This is what you don't get when you try and generalize your preparation. When you get a effective guidance, when you are under that effective guidance, you are able to understand. You are actually able to understand the basic nuances that are needed for this preparation. And your skills, when you appear for the examination, this is much better than others. Because what you need not forget is that you are competing. It's not other examinations wherein you score 60, 70, 80% and you feel good about yourself. Here, until unless you cross a certain barrier, until unless you cross that barrier, you are, you might get into your interviews. You might still, with hard work, you might get into your interviews, but unless your name appears in that particular list, you are not successful. This is where we, as Unique Shiksha, as an institution, we come in. We, as an institution, provide you with that kind of guidance. We ensure you that you have conceptual clarity. The second aspect is writing skills. See, when it comes to topics like history, or for that matter, topics such as science and tech, not history also. History also requires a lot of understanding and skills. When it comes to science and technology, either you know a question or you don't. In polity, in constitution, you may know a question, you know the basic ideas that are involved, how to answer it, but you still may not get good marks. Now, you would think, how can this happen? This is where we are. This is where we provide you with that guidance to ensure that you develop a certain writing standard which will ensure that you qualify this particular examination. The third aspect is knowledge of the ongoing state of affairs. Now, this is where the current idea, or what Shobhit sir refers as contextual understanding, comes in. See, as I said, governance. When we talk about governance is not something that is static. You can never consider it to be something that is that once a law has been enacted, that's it. There are number of changes that are brought in. There are number of changes that are brought in the whole governance structure. Like if we talk about various institutions coming in, for example, Niti Aayog, coming up of Niti Aayog. Previously, till 2014, there was an institution called as the Planning Commission. And then in 2015, from 1st of January 2015, we have implemented an institution called as the Niti Aayog. Now, what is the changes that these institutions? No, is that only the names have changed? No. The fundamental way in which these institutions work, they have also changed. So this is where we talk about the knowledge of the state of affairs. And again, if you look at the civil services market, you will understand, you will get to know that there are n number of material that would be available for you. However, the problem is, first, with the authentication of the material that you have, you may read something which is, first of all, not important for your examination. Second of all, it may not be authentic enough for you to actually replicate in your examination, which will give you good marks. Guidance is the key word here. Guidance is what we need to focus upon. And that is where, as an institution, Unique Shiksha, as an institution, we come in. We ensure that you develop through conducting almost after every week or every 10 days, we conduct a test which ensures you develop a writing skill. We ensure that you get you are handed with the right material to study for the examination so that you can qualify this examination. And remember, when I started this, when I was given the opportunity to speak, I said, I would like to congratulate you for the decision that you have made. Why? Because decision making is something that is fundamental when it comes to taking a decision as to which institution to join, or which institution would give you the right amount of guidance. And that is where we, as an institution, we would like that opportunity to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gautam sir, for your very elaborate and detailed views on approach for UPSC and of course polity and IR specifically. So coming back to the general aspects of preparation, I'm sure all of you have understood and learned in detail about the subjects. Now I'm going to come back to the general preparation part. I'm sure all of you are very confused, worried, and in a bit of a state of mind which is you yourself can't explain. Why? Because the world itself cannot explain what is going on because of COVID. But you have to understand, what do you do at these times? This, my dear friends, for you is the time to get ahead. Why get ahead? How get ahead? How can you get ahead of everybody else? It's a little confusing, but you can. You know why? you will answer it yourself. Tell me something. Ask yourself. Don't tell me right now. Ask yourself, have you actually been preparing over the last few weeks? What have you done over the last few weeks to prepare for this exam? You're asking me how to prepare. You're asking all of us how to prepare. You're here to understand how to prepare. But my dear friends, if somebody asks you, at least most of you, कि बेटा आप क्या कर रहे हो? You will say, I am preparing for civil services. But my dear friend, are you really preparing for civil services? That is what you need to ask yourself. So my dear friends, we need to start the preparation now. You need to get ahead of the competition, because your competition, like many of you, my dear friends, I hope you don't mind, has been sleeping. See, forget about the date. भूल जाओ कब होगा एग्जाम. एग्जाम तो होगा. ये आपको पता है, मेरे को पता है, सबको पता है. एग्जाम होगा. मैं आपको बोलूं अगस्त में होगा, कोई आपको बोलेगा सितंबर में होगा. It is inconsequential. They are called speculations because they are not facts. Am I right? I'm sure you will agree. Speculation और fact में यही फर्क होता है कि एक speculation होती है और एक fact होता है. तो fact की ही बात करेंगे. We will talk about facts. One fact also is, historically speaking, whenever the economy and the country has gone through crisis, the government takes out more jobs. That, my dear friends, is exceptionally good news for you. That means the country will take out more vacancies for the government jobs. And which is the topmost government job? The one that you are wanting to prepare for. I am sure most of you want to prepare for IAS. Come on, tell me in the comments box, which is the service you want. You want to be IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS, or some other service? Tell me in the comments box, which is the one that you want. Tell me you want it. I want to see your belief. Tell me, yes, you can be what? IAS? Yes, I can be IAS. Yes, I will be IAS. Yes, I will be IPS. Yes, I will be IFS. Write it in the comments box. I want to see your confidence. Because मैंने क्या बोला था? The first thing we need is what? Belief. Show me your belief. Yes, I can see. Write. Don't write IAS. Say, I will be an IAS. Yes, I will be an IPS. Write that. Yes, I will be an IPS officer. Yes, I will be an IAS officer. Write that. Yes, I'm so happy to see all of you getting charged up. I want this enthusiasm to continue. Because remember, this is a competitive examination. ये race है भाइयों. This is a race. You need to beat your competition. In order to beat the competition, you need a strategy. अब कुछ लोगों को अच्छा लगेगा जो मैं बोलूँगा, कुछ लोगों को बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. But I don't care, because I am not here to sell you dreams. I am here to help you prepare. Not just me, all of us. We are not here for a dream selling job. We are here to make sure that you prepare. Be selfish. I am very selfish. I have to be selfish. I am very selfish. I have to teach you well and give you good knowledge so that you can use it to your advantage. And when you use it to your advantage is when you will tell others that yes, Amrit sir and Unique Shiksha and all the faculties were great. They helped me a lot, and that is what I want. I want you to be selfish. Use us to get to your goal. और क्या है goal? To be an IAS. I see a lot of you are in college. I see some of you are graduates, some of you are working professionals. But अगर अपने आप से पूछो, कॉमन सेंस लगाओ कि अगर हमें कुछ भी फैक्ट्स चाहिए कैसे मिलेंगे? ऑफिशियल बॉडी से मिलेंगे. ऑफिशियल बॉडी जो है यूपीएससी है, यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन. उसकी वेबसाइट है upsc.gov.in. उसकी वेबसाइट पे जाइए, एनुअल रिपोर्ट मिलेगी. उस एनुअल रिपोर्ट में पता चलेगा कि हाईएस्ट सक्सेस रेट जो है इस एग्जामिनेशन में थर्ड अटेम्प्ट में है. अगर थर्ड अटेम्प्ट, if the third attempt has the highest success rate, so common sense जो अधिकतर लोग कहते हैं कि हमारे देश में कम कॉमन है. I hope common sense is common amongst all of you, my dear friends. If the highest success rate is seen in the third attempt, that means the best time to prepare is during graduation, not after graduation. That is why Unique Shiksha has been the first and leading institute to start specific courses for graduation students, and that too, my dear friends, at the same fee as the normal course of 1 year. But forget the fees, forget the course. We are here to tell you how you can prepare with or without us. With or without us. Because I am here for a selfish need. The selfish need is what? To make sure that you are helped today. So what do we do? How do we prepare in college? My dear friends, सबसे पहले क्या पढ़ना होता है इस एग्जामिनेशन की तैयारी के लिए? लिखो जरा, बताओ मेरे को. What is the first thing that you have to study for this exam? जरा बताओ मेरे को comments में. Tell me in the comments. First thing you have to start studying. So somebody said NCERT. Come on, tell me, all of you. I want to know. Don't worry. We don't know each other. It's a learning exercise. हम सब इकट्ठे सीखेंगे. Come on, I need more comments. I need more answers. Yes. So I have two answers which are correct, which is syllabus. सबसे पहले पढ़ेंगे syllabus, not NCERTs, not newspaper. कि जब तक syllabus नहीं पढ़ेंगे, we don't know what is relevant. चलो 2 मिनट syllabus भूल जाओ. आओ NCERTs पे. अधिकतर लोग कहते हैं start reading the NCERTs first. When did you study the NCERTs? In school or in college or after college? In school. Everybody, I'm guessing, is above 18 who is listening to this talk. Some of you may be under 18. But can any of you actually remind yourself of 18 days of your life? जिंदगी 18 दिन गिन सकते हो? नहीं गिन सकते. 9 गिन लोगे? 9 भी नहीं गिनोगे. मेरे को बता दो पिछले 5 बर्थडेज पे क्या किया था? वो भी नहीं बता पाओगे. So what happens as we move forward in life? We forget everything that we have learned. तो क्या हुआ? NCERT जो पढ़ी थी भूल गए. फिर उसको रीलर्न भी करना है. उसके साथ साथ में UPSC एग्जामिनेशन के लिए जो एप्लीकेशन चाहिए होती है वो बिल्ड करनी है. फिर then you have to build the analysis. All of that in what? A limited period of time. That is why, my dear friends, the best time to start preparing is during college. Why? So that you are giving yourself enough time to prepare. That said, yes, you can prepare in 1 year also. Many people do it. Many of our own students have done it. But उसके लिए एक चीज बड़ी जरूरी है. क्या? कभी रेस हॉर्स को देखा है? कभी घोड़े को भागते हुए देखा? क्या पहनता है? They wear blinders. ऐसे देख, blinders पहनते हैं ताकि ना राइट दिख सके ना लेफ्ट. सीधा सिर्फ दिशा दिखती है. बिकॉज क्या चाहिए होता है? बिलीफ चाहिए होता है, पाथ चाहिए होता है. बिलीफ चाहिए होता है और पाथ चाहिए होता है. पाथ पे नजर रहनी चाहिए हर समय. तीसरी चीज क्या चाहिए होती है? परसिवरेंस. सो ओवर हियर आई विल टेल यू अ स्मॉल स्टोरी. सो जस्ट अ फ्यू मंथ्स अगो बिफोर द लॉकडाउन, one of my old students came to meet me in my office. Unfortunately, I didn't remember her, but she was kind enough to come and meet me. She took some time from me and requested me to meet her for a cup of tea. So we were sitting down and talking. She said, "Sir, we were a group of 6 friends studying together at Unique Shiksha. 6 friends, all of them studying at Unique Shiksha. That means all of them studied from the same teachers, got the same study material, got the same tests. But from the 6 of them, only one got selected, which is her. The remaining 5, till date, have not gotten selected." So this story is not about Unique Shiksha, but it is the story of one of our students who is now an IRS officer. She said, "Sir, हम इकट्ठे पढ़ते थे. We used to study everything together. But the only difference between me and them was I made sure I gave every test. In 1 year, by the way, we give 100 plus tests. I don't think any other institute does something like this. And if you think about 100 tests, सुनने में बहुत ज़्यादा लगते हैं, but जब करते हैं, it is very easily possible because it is all about getting into the motion. That is what we are all here for. तो उसने क्या कहा कि सर, नंबर 1, मैंने क्या किया? I was coming prepared for every class. I was practicing after every class. I gave every test. And wherever I had a doubt, I sat with the faculties. तो ऐसे फिर आपके दोस्तों ने क्या किया जो वो सिलेक्ट नहीं हुए? They said, "Sir, they were becoming Raddi collectors." They were collecting books and collecting books and collecting books. They were getting notes from various institutes. They were getting multiple books for each subject and trying to study it all. But I'll ask you something over here. Please tell me, is history different in different books? No. Is the constitution different in different books? It's not possible. So फर्क क्या है? We need to concentrate our efforts. Am I right? Of course I'm right. अब एक हथौड़े को एक छोटी जगह पे मारोगे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट आएगा, बड़े सरफेस मारोगे तो इम्पैक्ट स्प्रेड आउट होगा ना. So you have to be that hammer to concentrate your effort. That was the only difference between her and all her friends, that she was concentrating in her efforts. She was making sure everything that was given she was doing, whereas her friends were trying to do everything. So my dear friends, it is wrong when people say कि यूपीएससी के लिए सब कुछ करना होता है. यूपीएससी क्लियर करने के लिए कुछ कुछ करना होता है, और जो कुछ कुछ होता है सही तरीके से करना होता है. Because for UPSC civil service examination, my friends, you will be asked questions to which you know the answer to, but you will answer incorrectly. Again I will repeat, जो मैंने कहा है कुछ confusing है. You will be asked questions to which you know the answers to, but will still answer incorrectly. How is that possible? Because of two reasons. यूपीएससी का बाय द वे आप लोगों ने सिलेबस उठा के पढ़ा है? आई होप आप में से कुछ लोगों ने किया हो, शायद आप में से काफी सारे लोगों ने नहीं किया होगा. एंड आई विल ऑल्सो से दिस with authority that I am pretty sure none of you will be able to stand up and recite the entire syllabus and all the topics that come within it. Almost impossible task है आप सबके लिए. So then how do you know what to study? सोचने वाली बात है ना. When we talk about syllabus of UPSC examination, अब देखो स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, it was very simple. We knew this is the syllabus. बुकलेट्स भी मिलती थी कि इन किताबों से पढ़ना है, तो पता था क्वेश्चन भी इन्हीं किताबों से आएंगे, तो सब कुछ कॉन्सेंट्रेट हो गया. यूपीएससी में क्या है, अगर आप सिलेबस पढ़ेंगे तो डोंट वरी, इफ यू हैव नॉट स्टडीड द सिलेबस, आई विल राइट डाउन द आवर ईमेल एड्रेस इन द कमेंट्स बॉक्स, व्हिच इज info@uniqshiksha.in, info@uniqshiksha.in. Please mail us and we will be happily sharing the syllabus with tips and tricks on how to prepare, and you can study the syllabus in detail over there. So now coming back to it, तो करे क्या, कहे तो कहे क्या, और बैठे तो बैठे कहाँ, और बोले तो बोले क्या. ये हो जाती है यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट की स्थिति. But it gets very simply solved when we look at things logically. How do we look at things logically? अब आप सब अपने आप से पूछो. I'll request the faculty members to also think. I will think also. सर मैं आप सबसे पूछता हूँ कि आप लोगों ने जिंदगी में बेहतर पढ़ाई कब की थी, स्कूल में या कॉलेज में?
Certainly sir, स्कूल में.
स्कूल में. शोभित सर आपने? हाँ जी शोभित सर, कैन यू हियर मी?
यस सर.
कहाँ बेहतर पढ़ाई हुई थी, स्कूल में, कॉलेज में?
सर स्कूल में अच्छा हुआ.
गौतम सर, व्हाट इज योर टेक, स्कूल कॉलेज?
स्कूल डेफिनेटली.
स्कूल डेफिनेटली. विशाल सर?
हाँ सर.
स्कूल में बेहतर पढ़ाई हुई थी, कॉलेज में?
स्कूल.
See, all five of us say कि we studied better in school. अब आप भी सोचो. I am sure the answer is the same for most of you. स्कूल में क्या होता था, बड़ी दिक्कतें थी. उस समय तो बड़े स्कूल से नफरत थी. मुझे तो थी, पता नहीं आप लोगों का क्या था, मेरे को पता नहीं क्या था. स्कूल वॉज टू रेजिमेंटेड. एक टाइम टेबल होता था, उस टाइम टेबल के अनुसार पूरी जिंदगी चलती थी. टाइम टेबल के हिसाब से स्कूल गए, क्लास हुई, सब कुछ पढ़ा. आफ्टर दैट व्हाट हैपेंस, होमवर्क मिल गया. आई रियली हैड अ प्रॉब्लम विद होमवर्क. आई डिडंट लाइक होमवर्क. आफ्टर होमवर्क क्या होता था, एग्जाम्स, यूनिट टेस्ट, क्लास टेस्ट. बाप रे, आई हेटेड दैट कंप्लीटली. क्या हुआ, क्लास, होमवर्क, टेस्ट. फिर क्या हुआ, ट्यूशन लगती थी, बड़े भाई बहन, पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट करते. तो क्या हुआ, क्लास, होमवर्क, टेस्ट और यहाँ पे सपोर्ट. 4 चीजें मिल गई, पहिया बन गया. पहिया घूमता रहा, हम आगे बढ़ते रिढ़ते रहे आगे. Then what happened? We moved to college. When we went to college, When we talk about classes, we bunked some classes. If we didn't want to bunk some classes, our friends told us, come, today we will bunk. Aaj chai peene chalenge. We'll go for a cup of tea today. So classes became a little erratic. Vishal sir is from DU. I hope you don't mind me saying this, sir. But DU में strikes ही strikes होती रहती है. कभी students, कभी teachers, कभी कोई और. तो classes थोड़ी डामाडोल हो जाती है. Classes get shaken up. Then do we get homework every day in college? We don't. Luckily the tests and exams happen. Did we take tuition? We didn't take tuition. So what happened? Our wheel went flat. For UPSC preparation, my dear friends, we have to re-inflate that wheel. We have to make sure our classes happen in a very structured manner to make sense of this very unstructured examination process. We have to practice what we study in class every day at home. What we practice from the class at home has to be tested by the faculties and the teachers so that they are able to track your progress. और जहाँ पे class, homework और teachers, test के बाद भी whatever doubts are left, we need the right support system, which is provided by the faculties and the personal mentors that we have at Unique Shiksha. So these four things combined take up your preparation cycle wheel again so that you can start turning it. Because when we are moving in motion is when we can solve the problems and they will automatically get solved. I'm sure you will agree कि करते करते सब कुछ हो जाता है, बिना करे कुछ नहीं होता. While doing it, we will be able to conquer anything, but if we don't do it and we just keep thinking about it, we will not be able to move anywhere. Then moving forward, we talk about working professionals. Working professionals, you have to have some very clear realities in your mind. You are all mature adults. That is why you are working professionals. You have studied, you have seen the world to a great extent, and you must understand that this is a competitive exam. I am sorry if I sound discouraging. Roughly 10 lakh aspirants, under 1000 selections, right? From that 1000, less than 100 become IAS. I think most of you want to be IAS. That means you have to beat 9,99,900 people to be an IAS officer. After that, I'm sure you want your home state. You want your preferred state. For that, you have to come, my dear friends, at least in the top 10, ideally in the top 5, because sometimes even rank 2 does not get the preferred state. So, please understand. I am only helping you understand the reality. You have to understand as working professionals that you are giving yourself lesser time to do the tasks somebody else is giving themselves more time to do. Why? Because in the day you have fewer hours. You are also exhausted after your work, after your daily routine. So please be honest to yourself and give yourself more time to prepare. How do you do that? That what a full-time aspirant sets out to do in 11 months, you have to give yourself 18 months for that same task. Because, my dear friends, honestly speaking, you do have lesser amount of hours in the day. The worst thing that any aspirant can do, those who are in college, don't think you have too much time in your hands, कर लेंगे, अगले साल कर लेंगे, अगले exams के बाद कर लेंगे. Don't think that. Don't think you will study NCERTs first and then take support. Don't think that. Our parents did not teach us at home for a reason, because we get structured knowledge at a certain institute. So college goers, please don't get overconfident and don't get too complacent. Full-time aspirants, you don't have any time to waste. You have to wear those blinders which I told you about and start running. And to run, you have to make sure that you choose the right companion to give you the right path. The companion is what? The right institute. Be it Unique Shiksha, be it anyone else. That's your choice. We know what we do, nobody else does. That is why I started Unique Shiksha. Working professionals, please don't be too rushed. Jaldi nahi karni hai. Give yourself enough time. Because if you try to do it too fast, you will spoil it. If you try to bake a cake, can you bake a cake quicker if you increase the temperature? No. If you are trying to make a sabzi, क्या वो सब्जी जल्दी बन जाएगी अगर गर्म आग रखोगे? नहीं, धीमी आग पे ही अच्छी सब्जी बनेगी. सही समय लगेगा हर चीज को करने के लिए. So don't overlook these things, my dear friends. So with this, I'm going to open the session for the Q&A round. So I invite all of you to please ask your questions over here. Also, my other request to all of you is kindly also keep reading the questions that are being posted so that the questions aren't repeated. I want to be able to take up all your questions regarding the syllabus, regarding note making, regarding optional subject, regarding current affairs, and so on and so forth. Any and every questions that you have pertaining to preparation during college or while working or anything else, we are here to solve it. If by any chance we are unable to solve your question today, I give you further options as well. One option is you can write to us via our email address, which is info@uniqueshiksha.in with your question, and we can get it resolved and even set up a one-on-one Zoom or Skype session for you with the subject expert or with myself also. Thereafter, if you have any other assistance that you require, you can always contact us on 8287360360, which is our number, and call us. Again, this will be mentioned below in the comments box towards the end of the session. We'll also be sharing our WhatsApp number and various other means to contact us. I also request all of you wholeheartedly that this session and this entire channel is dedicated to all of you and for your help. So like the channel, subscribe to it, and also share it with all your other friends so that we can help them as well. We also have a prelims refresher course running on our YouTube channel run by our esteemed faculty members where they're covering the entire tips and tricks on how to cover the syllabus. They're also covering the trend analysis of the previous years of each of the subjects that they're teaching, and they're also going to be covering the basic facts and everything else happening in the current affairs pertaining to their area. So do definitely study that course. So I have a lot of questions coming here. So one by one, I'll open the house to all the faculty members and ask them on rotation, and some of them will be taken up by me as well. I also request you, those of you who are putting up the questions, if you want to be directed to one specific person, you can do that as well. Of course, to remind you, we have Vishal sir here next to me, Shobit sir just below him, Kapil sir next to him, and Gautam sir right at the bottom of the screen. So please feel free to ask your questions. So, right. So, Gautam sir, this one you can take up. The question here is by Anushka Tyagi. She asks, do I need to reread all books from 6th to 12th standard, or is it enough till 6th to 10th for all subjects and 11th and 12th for art subjects? Or NCERT padhina or something else to be studied. So what is the approach for that for you?
First of all, I would very clarify to her that it is absolutely necessary to study NCERTs. It is absolutely necessary. You cannot skip it. And specifically when it comes to arts, because that is the most important aspect of your general studies, you will have to study it from 6 to 12, not from 6 to 10. This is something, 6 to 10 is something that you can go for when it comes to science, but for tuition, history, geography, all these topics that are there. For this, you will have to definitely go through from 6 to 12. 6 to 12. And please don't, I beg you, don't skip NCERTs. That is the core of your preparation. It is like, जब भी हम कोई बिल्डिंग बनाते हैं, तो बिल्डिंग बनाने के लिए फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग होना बहुत जरूरी होता है. And NCERTs does that. It is like a foundation for you. Preparing for your services, it is like a foundation. Please don't skip it.
Right. Thank you, Gautam sir. I would like to add another couple of points over here. My request and recommendation is that you have to definitely familiarize yourself with the NCERTs, because the NCERTs form your base knowledge. It is a base knowledge from where it has to be built upon further, and forward and backward linkages have to be taken in. I very strongly urge all of you to read the NCERTs as per the class schedules and as per the speed of the class, so that you're being able to correlate it to what the teacher is teaching and also being able to practice it with the forward linkage at the same time. To give you an idea, Vishal sir can elaborate on this further later, that In UPSC, they're not asking you what taxation policies were there during the Mughal Raj or during the British Raj. They're asking you which taxation policy in present day India is directly inspired from the Mughal Empire. That is the question UPSC is asking in the prelims. So for that, my dear friends, we have to follow that systematic pattern that we will definitely help you with via our courses. Which again, oh by the way, I forgot to mention, we also have the IAS Foundation Home Study Batch which has started, which is all the faculties and everything else that we do at Unique Shiksha delivered at home. Those of you who are not in Delhi and cannot come to Delhi, you can take up this course. Those of you who, of course, cannot travel right now and institutes are shut, don't halt your preparation. Start with this course, and you can later adjust this fee and transfer into the full-time program. Kapil sir, I think you had an added comment over there.
Yes, sir. I would like to say, even for specifically for geography, it is necessary to cover 11th and 12th class geography. Yeah, it is very necessary for each and every subject, but I will say 11th and 12th class geography are much important for that perspective. That's why NCERT of 11th and 12th. And along with that, I would like to say GC Lyon is one another book for geography. If you will do 3 books, 11th, 12th NCERT and GC Lyon for geography, it would be quietly comprehensively covering it.
Okay, so I believe Gautam sir has to head out. So we'll bid adieu to Gautam sir and thank him once again for taking out time and being here today. And the remaining faculties and I will be taking up all your remaining questions. Thank you, Gautam sir. Speak to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to, I would like all the students that are there, please, if you have any doubts, there is no one better than the faculty members and Amrit sir to actually guide you in this preparation. Please, resolve all your doubts. Thank you. We'll be meeting soon.
Thank you, Gautam sir. So next, moving to the next question, Ramya has asked over here how to join Unique Shiksha. So Ramya, we'll be sharing our contact details and all other resources over here. You can contact them. They'll help you with the registration process. So next question we have over here is from Bisham Pitama. So Vishal sir, this question is for you. So he asks over here, please give suggestions about history and how to tackle history in a concise manner. कहाँ से शुरू करें, कहाँ खत्म करें in a short manner.
So सबसे पहले तो मैं इस पितामा जी से यही कहना चाहूंगा कि कितना अच्छा नाम है उनका. देखो, ये भी हिस्ट्री का एक पार्ट है. तो स्टार्ट हिस्ट्री फ्रॉम क्लास 6th onwards till 12th. फर्स्ट फिनिश योर एनसीईआरटी. और यहाँ पर मैं एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा, इधर ओल्ड और न्यू. डज इट, एक अभी बच्चों के मन में सवाल आना लाजिमी है, मतलब एक डाउट है कि वो हम ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी पढ़ें या न्यू पढ़ें. डजंट मैटर. From 6 to 12, either old or new, whatever the NCERT is available with you, first finish it and finish it line by line, word by word, without thinking whether we are in a position to remember it or not. First finish it. Point number 1. Second point, don't finish in a haphazard manner. कि आज 6th की पढ़ लिया तो कल 8th की पढ़ लिया, तो आज एंशिएंट पढ़ा तो परसों मिडाइवल पढ़ा. नो, स्टेप बाय स्टेप. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th एंड देन 12th. ये पढ़ने का तरीका है. फर्स्ट फिनिश दिस. रेस्ट ऑफ द पोर्शन, दो वी विल आल्सो कवर एनसीईआरटी इन द क्लास इटसेल्फ फ्रॉम बेसिक टू एडवांस. But first, while staying at home, I would like to advise that first finish from 6th class to 12th class NCERT, either old or new, word by word, line by line, and don't read in a PDF form. एक और दिक्कत है बच्चों के साथ, मैंने देखा है कि वो PDF हर चीज के लिए लेते हैं. No. Buy the book and go word by word, page by page, line by line, and do it in a chronological way. Because history has 3 characteristics. Number 1, time. Number 2, period, and number 3, elements of changes and continuity. Time means like 21st century. Period means 2020 May month, and today is 10th May. And the timing of webinar was at 3 p.m. So this is the period. And then elements of changes and continuity. Continuity means this process would be continued along with some changes. For example, if Rigvedic period is there, then without understanding the Rigvedic period, you cannot understand the later Vedic. Without understanding the Mauryan period, you cannot understand the later Mauryan. Without understanding the Gupta period, you cannot understand the later Gupta. Without understanding the Delhi Sultanate, you cannot understand the Mughal Empire. Because most of the time the continuity is always there along with some changes. So read it in a chronological manner. That's it.
Right. Thank you, sir. So I have a lot of questions here about what is the syllabus. So again, I will repeat, my dear friends, that the syllabus, for the syllabus and the detailed syllabus, you can drop us an email or contact us. We'll share the entire syllabus with tips and tricks on how to prepare. But again, I will repeat what I said earlier, the syllabus in a nutshell, which I believe is the easiest way to explain it. That again, I will repeat, historically, all civilizations were based around rivers. So history or geography का तालमेल बैठ गया. The geography and environment of that area together gave us the produce, the agricultural produce. So history, geography and environment along with economy got interrelated. So when we are studying for UPSC, we have to understand it is not only about history, it is about history along with geography. It is not about geography, it is about historical significance of geography along with the environment and what was the impact of it on the economy. And to improve the economy, what science and technology was required. To govern the people, what was the polity and governance required? What are the constitutions? Thereafter, there were internal disputes and internal problems. We needed internal security to manage the within the borders better. Thereafter, there were disasters even back then. The lava, floods, earthquakes and so on and so forth. In today's time, the pandemic that we are going through, that requires disaster management. Even now we have neighboring countries and we have the world. Even back then there were neighboring civilizations and the remaining civilizations of the world, and there were international relations back then which have carried forward into international relations of today. So like this, all the areas are correlated, and ethics, integrity and aptitude are needed in the people who are making sure everything is being run properly. So that is the syllabus in a nutshell, and for more detail please mail us and we will be sharing it with you. And the next question we have over here is about how we are going to be able to help you prepare per day, and are we giving online classes? Yes, we are giving online classes. I forgot to mention earlier, we are the only institute in the entire country that gives you a schedule for the entire year in one go. That will be your daily plan. In that we will tell you what to study before the class, what will be taught in the class in detail. Thereafter, after the class, you will be given another set of notes, what you want to study after the class, along with practice questions. So that is something to be covered on a day-to-day fashion. This will be given to you for an annual calendar in one go, so that you know what to do, when to do, and how to do it. This will also have your weekly tests, subject and tests, prelims test series, and mains test series. अब जो मैंने आपको पहले एक क्वेश्चन बोला था, that which taxation policy from the Mughal Empire has carried forward into present day taxation. So what is that? How will you answer that? This question, by the way, was asked in the prelims, and Vishal sir himself is covered in the class and by the tests. So let's say इस हफ्ते विशाल सर ने पढ़ाई मुगल एम्पायर. टेस्ट में पूछा गया which taxation policies were prevalent during the Mughal Empire. So you got the answer correct. Vishal sir moved forward to British Empire. Then again, Vishal sir taught you the taxation policies adopted during the British Empire, and a question was asked in the weekly test, what were the taxation policies during the British Empire. So now Vishal sir knows, and the team at Unique Shiksha knows, that your concepts are clear. Then we start merging the two, which is called application level 1. Over here we will ask you, which taxation policy from the Mughal Empire carried forward into the British Empire. It's not necessary कि विशाल sir ने वो class में पढ़ाया हो, but he has taught you the concepts. So what you have done, you have been able to take out the common factor amongst the two. आपने देख लिया ये taxation policies carry forward हुई है, आपने अपना mind apply किया और answer सामने आ गया. अगर नहीं आया, you have the support system of the teachers again. Thereafter, in the prelims test series and the mains test series, current affairs comes. Over here, we actually did ask which taxation policy in present day India was directly inspired from the Mughal Empire. ये है by the way UPSC preparation की requirement. That is why we have the entire structure in place. So Yash has a question over here about the percentage weightage of each subject. As I have mentioned, Yash, that we have started the prelims course on YouTube. You can check there for all the trend analysis. And now we'll take on more questions. Just allow me a second. So Shobit sir, could you help the students understand what should be the approach to current affairs? That's a question also that's being asked a lot. In short, and like how can the UCT and the daily current affairs that we give, and along with newspaper, what should be the approach?
Okay, thank you, sir. Friends, as far as current affairs is concerned, and the approach we have to keep to appreciate the current affairs is, now, I would now talk about not only about the science and technology, but in general, what should be our approach for appreciating the current affair. And first, we need to pick a good newspaper. For that, we refer the Hindu or the Indian Express. Apart from that, we give updated study material from Unique Shiksha also. And apart from that, how can you yourself can learn to appreciate current affairs? Friends, we need to understand that context is very important, and general appreciation. General appreciation means there are some very remarkable phenomenon, events or happenings in every field. Suppose if you talk about some recent discovery of some site, suppose some Harappan site is recently discovered in some area, and it may be there in a very small space in newspaper. Okay, so as a general person, layman, that news may not be of consequence for us, but think from the perspective of an archaeologist. This is a very important, significant news for an archaeologist, right? So it becomes an important current affairs for us. Similarly, if we talk about science and technology, and you read in some newspaper that the scientists, they have discovered gravitational waves, okay, which was there in 2015. It may be a non-event for a common people, okay? But for UPSC, but think from the perspective of an astrophysicist. This is such a great event from his perspective that we need to, and all of these references which I am giving, these have been asked in exam, UPSC's exam. So this is the important thing here. Whenever you are studying current affairs, you need to keep a general level of appreciation for the events that are happening across different fields. Across anthropology, like I gave you an example, Denisovans, who are the subspecies of humans. That may be a non-event for people like us, for general people, but for UPSC or for think from a perspective of anthropologists. They discovered a new human subspecies was found, which is a very big event for an anthropologist. CRISPR-Cas9, that is a technique of in the field of biotechnology. It may be a non-event for common people, but it is a very big event for some biotechnologists. So this is the way we need to appreciate, we need to learn to appreciate events that are happening across the board, across all the subjects, not only for science and technology. So this would be my take. So start reading newspapers and try to appreciate events that are happening across the board, be it history, be it geography, be it economy, be it environment, be it any other subject. Fine. I think I may be.
Thank you, Shobit sir. Thank you, sir. So Kapil sir, the next question is, students are saying that they're not being able to remember and recollect what they have written. So how to go about notes and approach to answer writing to write better answers? What should be the body?
I would like to talk on answer writing first.
Yes.
And answer writing specifically, I would mention geography in a different aspect and the other subject in different aspect. Students, and along with this question, I would like to cover how to approach for the current affair as well. As Amrit sir initially mentioned, that you must go through the syllabus first, so that you will came to know what is important into the newspaper and what is not. If you will try to cover the complete newspaper thoroughly, it will take your complete day. and it become complicated for the student. Many more students approached to me and they used to say, sir, it used to take 6 hours for us to complete the newspaper. It is not necessary to complete the newspaper, but you should understand the syllabus, the requirement of UPSC. The second thing is, it is necessary to go via the past year papers. How they will help you? For example, when president election was there in India, then there was a news that this person, Sri Kovindji, elected as a president. And UPSC has asked question about the quality or the qualification of the person and become president. So it is necessary for the student, if there is any factual news into the newspaper, then you must cover that topic from your static syllabus. Second thing, if there is something related to the social issue like women empowerment or related to the environment, you must keep a note. You must keep separate notebook for each paper like GS1, GS2, GS3 and GS4. GS1 and GS4 paper are not much dynamic, but GS2 and GS3 paper are much dynamic. That's why whatever the topic you are reading into the newspaper, you must mention the facts which you like to do or which the lines which you like the most into your notes. By that way, what you will do, you will try to collect 15 to 20 points on each and every topic into your notebook. Because you will be having nearly 7 minutes in examination to write the answer in 250 words. For that, it is necessary you must have a structure and you must have points which are there in your mind, and you can quickly implement those points over there and you will be able to succeed. That's why it is necessary to make notes for each paper, for each topic of the newspaper, as well as from the standard books. Like I was mentioning the power of the president, it is generally mentioned into a static book, like giving example of Lakshmikant. But you can refer that because it was in news. That's why you must make notes for separate paper individually and as well as for separate topics. And how you will came to know? That is via syllabus. Just go through the syllabus and make each heading for at least of 1 or 2 pages and try to collect your 15 to 20 points on each and every topic.
Right. Thank you, Kapil sir, for your detailed explanation on this and for helping the students out with that.
My pleasure, sir.
So my dear friends, I'll take on the last couple of questions. So we have Anil Kumar over here. He has been asking this question. So he's saying he's pure English. I don't know how to start preparation. Recently I completed MBA. How is it possible for a below average student to become an IAS? So my dear friends, an average, a below average and above average student can all become IAS officers. Civil services is the gateway to clean your slate. आज तक कुछ भी हुआ, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, सब मिट जाता है. क्यों? कैसे? How? Because very simply, when you look at civil service examination, what are the requirements for this examination? You need to be a graduate. Not a graduate with 60% marks. You need to be a graduate. When you look at SSC, banking and various other examinations, you require 60% marks in your graduation. Whereas in UPSC, that is not required. It gives you the opportunity to restart your life with a fresh slate. This cutoff is not there for 2 reasons. One, so that any of you who want to be able to restart your career can do so. For others, it is also there because UPSC expects all of you to start preparing during your graduation. And if you start preparing during your graduation, of course your marks will be affected, and UPSC takes care of that. I have some questions over here of people who are in college in second year and third year and want to understand how to prepare. So my dear friends, as I have already mentioned earlier, the strategy for college preparation, you need to be focused on building your application analysis in the right manner. I've already mentioned that we have specific batches for graduation students. We run these courses online and offline. For more details, please contact us and we will share the entire schedule and more details with you. So we have this question from a lot of people who are in class 12 in college and so on, how to start preparation during this lockdown. The online course, which is a 2-year, 3-year and 4-year program at the same fees as the 1-year program, is available. Start with that. That is the right way to go about it. And along with that course, cover your NCRTs as per the class pace, as per the class schedule. Give the test on a regular basis. माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, एक चीज़ ज़रूर याद रखो, क्लास का जो शेड्यूल है वो फॉलो करना ज़रूरी है, बिकॉज वो ही आपको ट्रैक पे रखेगा. दैट इज़ योर पाथ. As I said, focus, belief that you will be an IAS. Write it again. Write it again. We're ending the session. Tell me your belief still exists. Tell me you will be an IAS. You will be an IPS. Number one, belief. Number two, path, which is going to be your schedule. Number three, perseverance. For the perseverance, you require to keep attempting. Keep attempting. The tests and the support that we give you will make sure that your perseverance continues. Belief, path, perseverance. Belief in your head, path from us. Perseverance, we will bring in together. So, my dear friends, stay safe, stay good. My best wishes to all of you. Final few announcements to all of you are: number one, as I'm showing you on the screen, the IAS Foundation Home Study Batch is available, where we will give you the detailed home study plan, topic-wise classes, the personal mentors for your support, so that even if you're sitting at home, you can get all your doubts cleared. And as I mentioned, the regular tests. The next announcement that I have for all of you, we have already shared all the contact details in the comments box, and you can always get them again from our website. You know what? I'm going to also tell you that you can set up a one-on-one session with me, with the faculty members, or with the academic head to get all your doubts cleared. I hope I have, along with all the other faculty members, have been able to clear all your doubts today. In case we have missed out, I sincerely apologize and look forward to hearing from you so that I can clear them as well. And again, stay safe, be good, and also do your preparation correctly. Please understand, एक बारी गलत कर लिया, सही ट्रैक पे आना मुश्किल होता है. We need to start strong, to remain strong, and to get ahead of the competition. So, my dear friends, shout in the comments box that you will be an IAS. I want to see your confidence one last time. Show me your belief in the comments box that yes, you will. Yes, you will. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Vishal sir, Shobit sir, Kapil sir, for taking out the time. It was great seeing all of you. I look forward for the lockdown to end, for this pandemic to end, so that we can sit down and have a cup of tea together again, and have a meal together. And my dear friends who have joined us for this webinar, thank you so much. I hope we were of use and help to you. I also look forward to seeing you face to face once this lockdown ends. Be safe, be good. Best wishes to all of you. And again, contact us if you need anything. We are here for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
It was a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
All the best, everyone.